ABC, it's easy as 1, 2, 3. Where did all these smart girls come from? I don't think that I could choose just one. We all got our education. Hey, teachers, there's a lot we know. Are you smart or are you stupid? There really isn't an in-between. Either you got your shit figured out or you're a complete numbskull. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Over time, we've had a lot of smarty pants that have been featured in popular culture. Back in the day, we had Brainy Smurf. Everybody hated that jerk. We also had Spock from Star Trek. He was a real know-it-all. The professor from Gilligan's Island was Mr. Smarty Pants, but did he ever get him off the island? Here in America, many of us think we know it all, but in actuality, we don't. When you compare us to the rest of the world, you've got a lot of Asian countries, no surprise, that have the highest IQs, and then we're way down here, near Belarus. We're barely smarter than Belarus? A country where the men wear dresses? And we're the 7th most literate country in the world. 6 countries have a 100% literacy rate, and most are in Europe. I wouldn't count North Korea. They're lying for sure. Today, we're going to talk about which US states are the smartest. To determine that statistic, we measured a number of factors: which states have the most college degree holders, each state's SAT scores, the states with the lowest dropout rates, and we even factored in each state's IQ scores. And yes, we're going to show you which states have the lowest IQs too. So there's no hiding from your stupidity now, states like Mississippi. Haha, JK Mississippi. Kinda. So get your reading glasses and your pompous snobby pipes out as we take an intelligent look at America's smartest states. We begin to pore through our research book on the smartest states in America as we come to chapter 10, which is all about the state of Colorado. Here in Colorado, the stat which really stands out are the high number of college degree holders. In Colorado, 37.8% of residents have a college degree, good for the second highest number in the country. To put that into perspective, the state with the lowest college attendance rate is West Virginia, where only 19% of kids go on to college. I think their priorities are a little different in West Virginia, don't you? But all that hunting and fishing aside, there are 99 places of higher education to choose from in West Virginia, so no excuses, mister. So Colorado has a really high number of college graduates. What else makes Colorado people smart? Well, the Air Force Academy's in Colorado Springs, and the Air Force is the smartest military branch. And the fact that Colorado has the most microbreweries in the country proves that maybe beer doesn't kill as many brain cells as they say. What makes Colorado kind of dumb? Pot mostly. Seems like the teens and even the young kids are struggling to grow up in an environment where drugs are legal. We'll have to see how those pot laws impact SAT scores on the kids growing up in Colorado today. Great chapter, a real page turner. Okay, so now it's time to bury our noses in our next chapter of our tour of America's smartest states. This time, we're going to Nebraska. Old MacDonald took his test and he got an A. Who would have thought Nebraskans would be some of the smartest people in America? People in Nebraska, that too. After all, they have the 7th lowest high school dropout rate in the country at only 3%. To put that into perspective, the state with the most high school dropouts is New Mexico, where almost 8% of kids these days don't finish high school. For all those dummies out there, that's more than twice as high as Nebraska. While in Colorado, it's the slightly older generation that makes it stand out in terms of intelligence. In Nebraska, it's the kids with the biggest brains, as the smart meter definitely skews younger here. And who said farmers weren't smart? There's a lot of math and chemistry involved in making sure America and America's animals get enough food each year. And there's women farmers too.
Did you know women are smarter than men?
Oh hell no, Mappy. Get out of here with that mess.
It's true. I heard it on the internet.
Well, Mappy is sorta right. I see you're wearing those dumb glasses again, by the way. Apparently, IQ scores for men and women are really close, but women have a higher EQ, which stands for emotional intelligence.
Hey.
I guess because they cry at movies and stuff? That makes them smarter? Well, we're going to leave the confines of Nebraska and go right next door as we talk about the whiz kids over in Kansas. Would you have guessed that Kansas has the 10th highest IQ in the country? It's true. 102.8 isn't just a popular rock station in Kansas, it's a sign that the kids are sort of brainy. For comparison, the nation's lowest IQ is in Mississippi, where kids have a 94.2 average IQ. A real big difference. Kansas has a lot to brag about when it comes to brain capacity. It's one of 3 Midwest states to make this list, meaning Middle America may need more credit than it gets, people. This girl's from Kansas, and she won the National Spelling Bee a few years back, so she's pretty smart. God, how does she even remember how to spell her own name? In fact, 2 of the last 10 Spelling Bee champs are from Kansas. Here's what's not smart about Kansas, people. Kansas just saw the largest increase in obesity of all Americans. That's pretty dumb. Well, we're going to have to revisit the whole Kansas thing later on down the road, but for now, we're going to visit our next smartest state in America, Virginia. Hey, we're on the East Coast for the first time, people. Now, here in Virginia, we're starting to get to the really smart people, not just the sort of smart people, at least when you look at the data. Virginia ranks in the top 10 in every category we measured except IQ, which is just about average. Virginia's 1099 average SAT scores are the 8th highest in America. Who has the lowest SAT scores in the US? Nevada, which averages about a 962 score per kid. Come on, Nevada, you guys can apply yourselves a lot more than that.
Oh, hell no. Virginia has the 3rd most speeding tickets of all states. That means they're not very smart.
Oh, hey, super gay cop. Thanks for that. What was that? As super gay cop pointed out, Virginians sure do drive their cars fast, especially in Northern Virginia, the wealthier part of Virginia, where families pressure their kids to excel in life. Oh, hey, there's a place called Smart Virginia. I bet they're super smart to live there. Let's call somebody there and see how smart they really are. There's a bunch of schools nearby.
School district, this is Pam. How can I help you?
Hey, Pam. I'd imagine the kids in your school district all get straight A's, right?
Well, not all of them, but we certainly hope that all of our students try their best.
So are there kids that get F's then?
I'm sorry, who is this?
Sounds like the smart school district is possibly covering up the fact that some of their kids are failing. Let's look at some famous smart people from Virginia. George Washington's from Virginia, and he must have been smart since he was our president. In fact, Virginia has birthed more U.S. presidents than any other state. Our current president's from New York, and he's probably our smartest president ever. Okay, time to turn the chapter on Virginia as we come to chapter 6 in our book of the smartest states. This time we're in New Jersey. Here in the Garden State, the stats don't lie. The most densely populated place in the nation has some dense minds. New Jersey also ranked 7th in America for number of residents who got their masters or PhDs. Of course, not everybody in New Jersey is walking around citing Shakespeare. There's no place called Smart, New Jersey, but there's a Buttsville, New Jersey. They don't sound very smart. Let's call them. Actually, hey, Mappy, do you want to call this one? All right, let me dial for you, Mappy. Your hands are too small for that. And you need a cooler phone. Your phone sucks, Mappy.
Hello?
Hey, is this Buttsville, New Jersey?
Yeah, I live in Buttsville.
When coding in JavaScript, what's the operator used to assign a value to a variable?
Huh?
Make it not as hard, Mappy.
What the hell are you talking about, you freak?
Hey, man, this is Nick, Mappy's friend. Don't you talk to him like that or I'll kick your butt.
What in the hell are you two talking about?
Forget it, Mappy. People in Buttsville are not only dumb, they're mean. Time to turn another chapter on our quest to quickly visit America's smartest states. Chapter 5 brings us to Vermont, where we're getting super smart now. In Vermont, every category is in the top 12, including the 5th highest college graduation rates, the 4th highest IQs, and the nation's lowest dropout rates. Now, sure, we're aware that just because people all finished high school and more than a third went on to finish college, people aren't necessarily smart. I mean, there's book smart and street smart. And I'd be willing to bet that if you threw a sheltered Vermont kid into the Baltimore ghetto, they'd probably call home for help. Now back to Vermont. You know, there's been a history of smart inventors from Vermont. John Deere is a Vermont native who invented the plow. Jake Burton invented the snowboard. Hey, that's cool. And ice cream was invented by Ben and Jerry in Burlington, Vermont. Everybody loves ice cream. Chapter 4 is right after Chapter 5, and right next door to Vermont is New Hampshire. New Hampshirers are just about as smart as the people in Vermont. New Hampshire people have slightly higher IQs and have a little tiny bit higher SAT scores. New Hampshire is also one of the nation's richest states, one of America's whitest states, and one of the gayest states. And now it's one of the smartest. Draw your own conclusions, people. Hey guys, I'm your sub at NickJohnson541 on Twitter and Nick Johnson on YouTube. Today, you're going to do your work while I make videos. Now we're going to remain in the Northeast once again for the next chapter in our journey, Connecticut, the home of overpriced prep schools. The Nutmeg State ranks in the top 10 in every category we measured, and if it wasn't for a slightly lower IQ score, they might have been at the front of this book. Mark Twain is considered a literary genius, and he's from here. Bruce Jenner, or whatever he's called now, was born in Newton. But what the hell? Are the smart people scaring off the stupid people? Because it looks like people are leaving Connecticut in droves. Now, this channel also called Connecticut one of the snobbiest states too. I'm so fancy, you already know. You know, Yale and Wesleyan are both snobby schools, and they're in Connecticut. Are smart people snobs, or are snobby people smart? We're almost to the front of the book, as we're at our second smartest state in America, Minnesota. What? The land of gophers and snow is a bunch of smarty pants? It's true. Minnesotans command the nation's 5th highest IQs and the 8th lowest dropout rates of all Americans. I mean, look, people in Minnesota are pretty much aware that they're way smarter than their neighbors. You gonna take that, Wisconsin? Minnesota high schoolers have a 1,298 average SAT score. That's tops in the nation. What's in the food up there? Is it all the fish and walrus blubber they're eating all day long? They say good fat does wonders for our memory. What do Minnesota people eat? Lufsy, lutefisk, and booyah. What the hell's booyah? A thick stew that takes 2 days and multiple cooks to make? What the hell? Oh my God, you have to make it in a trash can in your front yard? All right, so we finally turn to the front or back of the book and to chapter 1, the smartest state in the U.S., Massachusetts. In Massachusetts, 40% of the residents have a college degree, SAT scores are the second highest in America, and IQ scores are the tops. It's pretty much a blowout. Yeah, don't get into an argument with a Massachusettser about anything. They'll win. Especially sports. You just don't want to go there. Article after article talks about how the public schools are a model system, how 8 of Massachusetts' cities are some of the smartest in America, and how rich and successful many Massachusetts people are. Hey, don't be jelly and hate them because you ain't them. Maybe just study a little more and beat them at their own game, America. There you go, the smartest states in America, with Massachusetts and much of the Northeast leading the way. Now, if you're trying to marry a real lunkhead, you might want to search in Nevada, Mississippi, West Virginia, and New Mexico. If you live there, your state has some of the most stupidest people. Not you, fan of this channel. You're very bright, of course. It's other people in your state that are the dummies. Well, that's it. This book is read. We learned a lot, and I'm sure some people are going to comment and say they're stupider after watching this video. But hey, where else can you learn about America and be entertained at the same time, right? If you live in one of the states we talked about, congrats! You're likely a wee bit smarter than the rest of America. Hopefully you're patient with the rest of us, cause we're likely a little slower than you are. The end.
When I was kicked off the show for a while, I went on vacation in Whitefish, Montana, and stayed at the Hidden Moose Lodge. I soaked in an indoor hot tub. I relaxed in my awesome room. I spent some time catching up on reading, and I even went skiing. Here's me competing in the pond skim. It was great. If you're on vacation in western Montana, I recommend you look into the Hidden Moose Lodge. It's maptastic. The link to their website's in the description. Bye.
Hey guys, if you learned something new or you just like this video, make sure to like it. And if you really like this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get all of our videos about what it's like to live in different places in America. Peace.